Hello ladies and gentlemen, and this is Franklin from the TechiFY channel, and today we're going to talk about getting an Apple ID. Now before we begin, why do we want an Apple ID? So what does an Apple ID allow you to use? Well, on a Mac it allows you to video chat and message people, as well as listen to iTunes Radio and set up iCloud services, and the same pretty much goes for iOS devices. And you can also download apps. So having an Apple ID is essential for if you have one Apple device, or if you live in the Apple ecosystem and have tens of thousands of Apple devices. Having an Apple ID is absolutely essential. You have to have an Apple ID. Otherwise, your iPhone isn't really going to be that useful to you. So today we're actually going to show you how to sign up for an Apple ID on an iPhone. Alright, so without further ado, why don't we get started. So now, you want to follow these directions very closely, otherwise you might encounter a hiccup and it might be really difficult to fix it later on. So why don't we go into the App Store here, and then wait for it to load, and once it does, just find any free app you would like to download. Heck, just pick a random one. Oh, like this 9/11 Memorial Museum. This one seems interesting. See, I like it, so let's install it. We'll just tap that, click install, and then it'll ask me to sign in using an Apple ID. So why don't we create a new Apple ID, because that's why you're watching this video. And then this will appear. Choose the country or region that you are using the Apple ID in. Click next. And then you want to agree to these terms and conditions, as you cannot progress if you do not agree. You can send them by email as well if you want to have a copy of it. You can read all 54 pages if you'd like, but I'm just going to click agree. And then when it asks you whether you have read it or not, you can click agree, even though you probably didn't read all 54 pages. Alright, so now we want to type in our email, which I'll just put the email for my YouTube channel in here. And it's okay, I'm not going to censor it out, because if you guys have any questions, you can just send it to this email. Now I am going to actually censor the password part, so you want to type in the password that you want to use, and then the verify section is where you have to type it once more, just to make sure that you didn't make a mistake when you're typing it. So just type in your password, and make sure to keep it in a safe place as well. And now here it will show you, there's a little warning or something. It says that passwords must be at least 8 characters long, including a number, an uppercase letter, and a lowercase letter. Don't use spaces, the same characters 3 times in a row, and your Apple ID as in your email, or a password you've used in the last year. So these are just tips, but the first sentence, that is actually a guideline, so you have to follow those guidelines, otherwise they won't let you use the account. So now when we scroll down to the security info, we can pick a question. Actually, I'm not sure if we have to do those yet. Let's just, optional rescue mail, that's optional, so we'll just leave that there for now. Basically, what the optional rescue email is say you forget the password to it. Well, then they'll send an email to this email, and you type in here. And if you still have access to that email account, then you can access that email and reset the password to your Apple ID. So that's kind of useful. For date of birth, let's just put January 3rd, 1985. So after we input our birthday, it will ask you whether or not you want to subscribe to their emails. You can pick whichever one you want. I'll just choose not to for now. And here at the bottom actually gives you kind of a little peace of mind. It says that Apple uses industry standard encryption to protect the confidentiality of your personal information. Then just click next. And so I suppose we do have to pick these security info questions. So then let's just pick one. What's the first name of your best friend in high school? Now after you click next, this will appear asking you your billing information. Now this is why I wanted you to follow my instructions carefully, because there are many ways to access the form that we have here in order to create an Apple ID. You can do it on a computer, you can just go into settings under iTunes and Apple Store information and click create new, but this will not give you the option to not use a credit card for the App Store. So so here you see we have the option non-checked. This is because the app you're trying to download is free, so then they don't need your billing information. So if you do it the exact way that I did it, that will allow you to use your Apple ID with the App Store without having to add a credit card or a gift code. Now I can skip that, and for a title we'll just put Mr. Franklin. Oh, spelled my name wrong. Franklin Tech. And for our address, we can put, just for fun, 1 infinite loop. Oh, I spelled loop wrong. We can skip that. That's for if you live in an apartment, you can put your apartment number there. Cupertino. So this is basically just putting in your billing information for if you do use credit card or you download a paid app. They'll know where to send your billing information. And CA, let's see, California 95041. And for the phone number, you do have to put one in, but you can just type something random like something like that. Just there we go. You can change all of this later on, so just click next. And so after we have clicked the next button, this will appear asking you to sign into the iTunes store. We'll just put our password in. Whoops. There. I have not verified my account, and I'll just tap OK to review the instructions on how to verify our account. So now what we have to do is actually go into our email that we put in for the registration, which for me is techify.news@gmail.com. Just follow the instructions in the verification email to finish creating our Apple ID. Now here we have a blue resend verification email button, which is for maybe you didn't receive the email, so you can just tap that to resend the verification email. So now let's just click done for now, and done once again. And it'll ask me for this, but I need to verify my account first, so let's push cancel. And then let's go into our email application, which for me is Gmail. And so now I'm logging into my Gmail account on my phone, and once we go to our emails, let's go to primary. And here we have verify your Apple ID. So now it'll tell me why I received this email, and all I have to do is click this button, verify now. It'll take me to a link where I have to type in my Apple ID and password to verify that, to make sure that I remember my information. So, the Apple ID is just the email address that you use to sign up for the account. So if you're wondering what that is what it is. So I'm just going to type in my email and type in my password. Once again, I'm going to censor this because I don't want you guys downloading random creepy stuff with my Apple ID. And then we'll click verify address. It'll load, and then it'll say thank you for verifying your email address. And then that is it. So now once we go back to the App Store, just go back to the App Store here. Now if we want to download the application, we just click the free button, install. It'll ask me for my password once again. I'm going to put it in. And there we go. It has begun downloading. And so that is how you make your own Apple ID on a iPhone or any other iOS device. And this, if you follow my specific directions, you won't have to add a credit card or a gift code in order to use the App Store, Apple App Store. Otherwise you would have to, and that's kind of annoying. And for if you don't necessarily aren't old enough to have a credit card yet, that can also be frustrating. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to create your own Apple ID that you can use with the App Store without having to attach a credit card or a gift card to it. And so yeah, that concludes this tech tip. For more tech tips just like this, be sure to subscribe to the TechiFY channel. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.